On the line, former big leaguer, and a guy who's been on our show before. We love him. Talk a little baseball with the great Brian McRae. What's up, Brian?
Good evening. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Actually, let's talk some football. You're a KC guy, a huge football fan. Tell us about your Chiefs, man. Are they the real deal?
I don't know if they're the real deal or not, but it's fun. The last month and a half have been a lot more fun than watching them go 2-14.
Really? I mean, Andy Reid coming in there. They were able to find an enormous red shirt, and he wears it well.
I think they're used to it. They had Romeo Cornell and Charlie Weiss, so they had some extra big red shirts there.
That's a good point.
Well, they needed it. I mean, speak about Andy Reid as a coach, though. He really is a quality football coach.
Yeah, he's been a breath of fresh air here in KC. I don't know, if it's going to last, but they played well defensively. Offensively, been kind of shaky, but they go to Nashville and play the Titans this week, so I think they have a chance to go 5-0.
Yeah, against a Ryan Fitzpatrick-led Titans team because Jake Locker could be out for one or 2 months. So that's a very winnable game, if you ask me.
Do you think
the schedule's been favorable for them? The only team that they played that's been decent, I think, is the Cowboys, and they caught them at home. They were able to beat them. So I think it's been a little bit more
the 2-2 Cowboys.
Better, but the schedule's been down. They have 2 games with Denver, 2 with Oakland, 2 with San Diego. It's going to get tougher. I don't see them as being a 13-3 club, but I see them as a playoff ball club.
Do you think Andy Reid can reach his ass when he's attempting to wipe?
I think he's used to it. He's been so big for so long.
I think he can too. He's got a big frame.
When you get older, though, no.
He's got long arms. He's a big guy.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's how the defensive.
Oh, he's like 6'4", 6'5".
That's how the offensive linemen do a big arm, because you look at a guy and you go, that guy can't reach his ass.
Massive arm length on Andy Reid.
I just don't like watching a guy do a post-game interview and knowing he's got a filthy ass. Your thoughts on that?
He does not have a filthy ass.
Okay.
No, I think he's got that all figured out.
I can attest to that.
All right, Brian. Listen, Brian. Brian's the guy I'm talking about. Well, you were a football guy. Brian was in the major leagues.
Yeah.
Brian, how is your father doing?
He's good. He lives in Bradenton, Florida, just hangs out, plays with the grandkids, plays a little golf. His last year was 2009, I think, with the Cardinals.
I love the way both of you guys played. I love the way you played ball, and I love the way your father played baseball. He's a throwback. You don't see that anymore. Like a real hard-nosed guy, old school, amazing hitter, clutch hitter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hal McRae, my God, clutch hitter.
Yeah, they had some fun teams to watch in Kansas City, and I think that they're finally getting back to having a little bit of fun on the baseball diamond now after the way things went this year and bringing Ned Yost back. So they may be beginning to turn some things around baseball-wise here.
I hope so, too. It's a market that you root for, Kansas City. With again,
it's a good baseball town, but the baseball team hadn't given the fans a whole lot to get happy about.
Right. No, you're right. Now, well, again, they're a victim of, what's been wrong with baseball is, the budgets that
Haves
these guys
have.
Yeah, exactly. But
are they sustainable, Brian?
It can be done. I mean, you look in right now in the playoffs, and you see the Rays have been to the playoffs 4 times, I think. The A's, it can be done.
A's every year.
Be a little bit smarter in what you're doing, and when you make your decisions. It's not easy for the Royals, but I think they'd rather be in the division that they're in than where the Rays are going up against the Red Sox and the Yankees every year, and they find a way to get it done.
Hey, Alex Smith just came on as a quarterback. You were on the welcome committee for Joe Montana when he came to the Chiefs. What was that like? What does that entail? You got to just kiss their ass.
I just happened to run into Joe when he came into town at a couple local establishments in Kansas City, and hung out with him that night when he was on his recruiting trip, so to speak, and the next morning when he was flying out on TV, he was wearing the same clothes that he had on when he was out with us out and about. And he ends up signing with Kansas City and got to hang out with him for a few years. That was a fun time. Marcus Allen was also around at that time. So the Royals, the Chiefs had done a good job with Marty Schottenheimer bringing in players that still had a lot left in the tank. And that's probably the last time that they were a favorite to maybe win a division and go deep into the playoffs. They haven't done much since the mid-'90s.
Yeah. Well, that was a fun team to watch with Allen.
Yeah.
And Joe Montana.
They were,
Absolutely.
Joe Montana was the first quarterback to win his first 4 games at a new team.
Right. Is that true?
Yeah, because he was injured for his second game in Kansas City. But when he first got to Kansas City, he won his first start. His second start was game 3, 1 game 3, 1 game 4, 1 game 5. Won his first 4 games. Alex Smith is the second quarterback to ever do that.
Yeah.
He came also from San Francisco, and now he's 4-0 after his first 4 games. So it's kind of a little history repeating itself, although Alex Smith is not Joe Montana.
You like Alex Smith? You like this guy as a player?
I like the move.
Yeah.
Matt Castle was not getting the job done.
Right.
Even though they'd given him a whole lot of money and brought him from New England. So I think this is a better fit with Alex Smith. And they've had a history of having San Francisco quarterbacks here. Bono played here. Elvis Grbac played here. So that may be one of those weird things that happens, but it's worked out good so far, and it did work out with those other players. They were able to lead the Chiefs into the postseason.
Yeah.
Can you name 5 people stupider than Joe Montana?
You look at his career, and I don't know how you can call him stupid.
Well, I mean, football on the football field's one thing, but I'm just saying as a conversationalist.
I think he's got a few concussions there. And they didn't have the protocol that they have now.
Right.
You're right.
That's a great point.
Now, what about that? Do you think the NFL guys, is there something to that? Do you think this lawsuit has validity? As a baseball player, do you feel did you play a lot of football, Bri?
I played high school, and I signed to play at the University of Kansas, but I picked the safer sport to play. I think there is a lot to it.
Yeah.
I probably went through, just as a high school player, 3 or 4 concussions in the 4 years that I played high school football.
Right. Yeah. No, it's difficult. I mean, obviously, I think anybody with a choice would be right in baseball. It's a little more of a grind, a longer season, but the money is there. The guaranteed contracts are there, and it's so much safer. What they're linking it to, ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease now. It's terrible.
CTE, early onset dementia.
Now,
scary stuff.
I think you understand what you're going into, and
right.
a lot of these players,
you do.
They know the risk, but I think the league is doing a much better job now.
Yes.
Of making sure these guys are okay to go back out there when they go back and play, instead of the smelling salt, how many fingers do I have up, running those guys back out there like that.
Yeah.
Joe Girardi, Joe, you think there's a chance he's a Cub manager the next year?
I think there's a chance.
Really?
He's a Chicago guy.
Yeah.
With the Northwestern, played for the Cubs. I don't think he's all too thrilled with what's going on there with the Yankees.
Oh, can't be.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't.
And I think the Cubs are going to be okay in the next few years, to where what Theo is doing there going to make them into a contending ball club. And once they get good, they're going to be good for a long time. So that could be a good fit for Girardi there with the Cubs.
Our announcer, Mike Boschetti, considers himself a bit of a Chicago Cubs historian. He loves the Cubs, and I'm going to give him the floor right now to ask you any question about the Cubs or Royals that he wants. Mike, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Brian, you're probably going to want to hang me, but I'm actually a Mets fan since childhood.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Met fans right now.
Me too, I know. It's been a long, long time. But,
and it ain't getting any better anytime soon, I don't think.
Brian played for the Mets.
That's
Mike.
right. He does. He was a Met.
I was a Met, and I loved the Pirates growing up as well.
Yeah, hey, what happened with the Pirates
Thank you,
tonight,
Mike.
Brian? Did you watch that game?
Yeah, it got ugly. A.J. Burnett went back to his Yankee years.
A.J. Burnett.
Reverted back to that.
Right. Yeah, I know. I mean, when he gets rocked, he gets rocked, man. It does. It looks like a Little League pitcher up there or something.
Yeah.
I still think they make it a series. The Cardinals win, but I still think it's going to be a pretty good series.
What, do you have any Can you predict the two teams in the series now, or what do you think?
Earlier in the year, when Cabrera was healthy, I thought it was going to be Dodgers and Tigers. But now I don't know who's going to come from the American League. I still think the Dodgers are going to win it all in the National League. I can't tell who's going to come from the American League right now. The Tigers are flawed. There's so many flawed teams in the American League. Maybe the Red Sox, but I think they still have their issues too.
Interesting. The Dodgers, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to agree with that. The Dodgers are good.
Yeah.
They're the real deal, you know.
I agree.
You think so, John?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, at this stage of the game, yeah, I like the way they're playing. Bob, Brian, you played for Bobby Valentine. What was he like?
He's different individual. You know, he was a manager that I learned a lot from. Not always the good things. You know, I coach now at a college here outside of Kansas City, and I tell my former players that, you know, Bobby Valentine taught me more than any other manager that I played for. He just taught me the wrong things, you know, the things not to do when I manage. And I think there's something to be said for that. You need to learn the good, bad, and all those things. And I learned a lot from Bobby as far as how I don't want to treat players that play for me because of the way he went about things.
Interesting.
So I got to give him credit for making me, I think, a pretty good coach, because some of those things that he did, not to me directly, but how he treated some of the guys on the team in the 3 years I played with the Mets, I looked at that as like, I don't want to, if I get in that position, treat my players that way.
Wow. I mean, what are you talking about specifically? I mean, was he yelling?
Real good communicator, real good people person.
Right.
You know, he's the kind of guy that when things were going good, you know, he talked to you a lot, and, you know, it seemed like he was on your side and with you when things are going good. You don't need anybody to be on your side when things are going good. You know,
wow.
he was the type of manager that I felt that stuck with his players when things were going bad a lot of times, and that was something that kind of I saw. And, you know, when you're going good, you don't need anybody. That's not when you need your coaches or your fellow teammates to be behind you and have your back. Everybody loves you when you're going good. It's when you're not. And I just thought that there were times where he wasn't there for the guys on the team like other managers that I played for. And, you know, it was kind of odd at times the way he treated guys when they weren't going good.
Yeah. Great. Well, listen, Brian, we appreciate you, candor. We got to run, but you're welcome on the show anytime. And good luck. Relax. Best of your dad, brother.
All right. Thank you very much. You guys have a good rest of your evening, and thanks for having me on.
The great Brian McRae. Absolutely. And we'll be back with the Artie Lange Show after these.
The Artie Lange Show. Weeknights on Audience. Only on DirecTV.